with Shaq and the Jet. In this game, we'll see the Indiana Pacers.
HBK, yeah, you know how we. And I can't quit, all I know is HBK, yeah, you know how we. And I can't quit, all I know is.
Wherever I go, my homies come to. I love my squad. We up in this thing. I love my squad. I love my squad. I love my squad. I love my squad. Make your lady back up in this, hop up in the six, and you should ignore these rappers, man. They say anything. Call me Susie Piggy Bank. I got plenty change. She rep HBK over everything.
On the road and hungry for a win against an Eastern Conference rival, the Indiana Pacers are ready to go. Welcome to the Air Canada Center, home of the Toronto Raptors, in a great venue for basketball. Buckle yourselves in, everybody. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And it's going to be the Pacers off the tip. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And so in the game for the Pacers, Ellis is out there with George Hill. Then there's Lavoy Allen. Then it's Paul George. And it's Jefferson in at the 5 spot.
And for Kyle Lowry, last season was full of milestones. First, he signs the big contract extension for 4 years. Then he earns his first ever All-Star selection. Unfortunately, didn't finish as strong with the postseason, but a terrific year.
Now, here's Lowry. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Outside DeRozan. Clock at 6. Stolen by Allen. Got a piece of it. For 3, Ellis. That's good. Ellis has got the first bucket of the night, a 3-pointer for the Pacers.
It is so hard to contain him. He just seems to get it done however he has to do it.
Lowry against Ellis. Lowry kicks to DeRozan. Paul George grabs the miss.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
From downtown and Indiana, another 3.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Guys, well, I had a chance to talk with head coach Dwayne Casey. I asked him what their focal point would be defensively, and he said that Al Jefferson is at the top of their scouting report. With his smooth, low-post repertoire and mid-range shooting touch, he can put up points in a hurry. He said they'll try to steer him to his left hand as much as possible and just hope for the best. Kevin, we'll see if they can force him into a tough night.
Thank you, Doris. Here's DeRozan, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. The thing about DeMar DeRozan, he came into the league fairly unpolished, struggled to handle the ball, created then his own shot, and but sometimes he would create for others too. Yeah. But he settled down. You can see the growth.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. You could see the physical talent was there in terms of him playing the 2. The question was, could he make the commitment mentally to become a great player? Well, from what he's done the last few years, I would have to say he's definitely been able to do that.
And, you know, getting back to DeRozan, he's put a spit shine on his offense. Over the past 2 seasons, averaged over 20 points a game, was also good for 3 or 4 assists, showing everybody how work ethic can overcome unrefined skills.
Here's Lowry. Following the basket by George Hill. Screen by Scola. DeRozan against Hill. That's good. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played.
You know, for DeMar DeRozan, scary to think that he's still scratching the surface of his potential. Made his first All-Star appearance in 2014. Was a little dinged up last year, but still very effective. No doubt he's the real deal.
Great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and trigger the fast break.
And now just a one-possession game thanks to that quick hitter. Outstanding play in the open court.
Now here is Hill. Outside, George. Scola with the rebound.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Lowry kicks to Scola. That misses, had a chance to tie it there.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
From deep, George. Carroll with the rebound.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played. 6 to shoot. The wide open look here for DeRozan. Drills it from outside. DeRozan's got 7 points in the game.
And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. Well, I'm sure you guys have heard this, that the nickname that has been given to DeMarre Carroll, the Junkyard Dog, I think it's apropos. Kid drafted out of Missouri back in the 2009 draft.
Yeah, and he actually had to show perseverance to hang around as he bounced around a bit. But I think he's found a home now.
And Carroll, an energy player who's developed a reliable three-point stroke. I mean, he can also hurt you in transition. He's got terrific size and athleticism, and he also really knows how to play without the basketball.
And the Raptors going out now with a whole new group. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Turner's checked in for Jefferson. C.J. Miles comes in for George. Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Monte Ellis. Young is subbed in for George Hill.
You know, the defense was lax right there, and he's able to make them pay. And Carroll, by advanced stats, one of the most productive small forwards in our league. I mean, one thing I like, even as he's developed into a three-point threat, he still has an instinct for cutting to the rim off the ball when his defender turns his head. I mean, one of the things I think that allows his team to be so good is his understanding of how to play the game.
Indiana's gone 3 of 5 from three-point land so far in the ballgame. Pass to Miles for the three. Rebound by the Raptors. And here is Joseph. Ross with a wide open look. The 18-footer is right on the mark. 1:05 left to play in the first. Now Stuckey. Pass to Young. Releases from 15. And good coming on the assist by Rodney Stuckey. Toronto's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And Joseph kicks to Patterson. To the middle. Here's Ross. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket. On time and on target.
Stuckey drives inside. Comes up empty down low. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
There's a good screen. And Joseph kicks to Patterson. Ross for 3. He's now 2 for 3 with that miss. Pacers have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. Young pass to Miles. Lets it go from deep. And Rodney Stuckey the bucket on the assist from Miles. 6 points for Rodney Stuckey. And Joseph kicks to Ross. Lays it up and banks it in.
That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And it looks like they are going to review the play. The question, did he get the basket off in time?
Yeah, and at this point of the game, you know, some might say, hey, can't we just skip the replay this time around? But you just never know.
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, they want to get the call right, and the league is taking steps to speed the process with the Replay Review Center in Secaucus queuing up the footage for the officials.
And they've seen enough. The basket will not count. The quarter has come to an end before the shot.
Still important to have a second look at it, Kevin. I mean, the technology's available, so you might as well use it.
Absolutely. Plenty of offense in this closely contested first quarter of play. It's the Pacers. They're up by 1. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we have seen from Indiana. What do you think?
The roof is up right now, guys. It's raining in here. A lot of threes through the first.
Hey, sometimes when it rains, it pours, and they have not let up from beyond the arc.
The star pair of Lowry and DeRozan are the guards. Jamari Carroll is out there with Scola, and it's Valanciunas in at the center. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors.
And Toronto had a strong season against the East last year. They would end up with 33 wins against their own conference and earn that 4 seed in the East.
And it's DeRozan missing.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
And it's Hill penetrating, uses the glass to finish the layup. Hill's got his second bucket of the night. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. And the Raptors did play the other East teams well, went 500 against the rest of the Eastern Conference playoff teams, too.
And despite that, we know the Raptors had a disappointing playoff run to end the year, but I thought they still showed that they are a power in the East by having another strong season against the conference.
Ellis outside. The tray. Rebounded by Valanciunas. Toronto trailing. Left side Lowry. And the pass to DeRozan. Screen by Scola and DeRozan. Here we go.
Yeah, credit the D there. Got his hands up and made sure he wasn't comfortable on the release.
Sure did. Stayed real snug on it and didn't allow him the space he needed to get a good shot off.
The Raptors have gone 2 of 5 in the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Scola, a screen on Ellis. And it's DeRozan missing. Indiana's gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the 3-ball here. Turner with a screen for Hill. It's Ellis on the wing. Launches a 3. Another shot. And Turner with the lay-in. Turner's got his first bucket in this one.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
Lowry kicks to Valanciunas. On the wing, DeRozan. Valanciunas against Jefferson. And that one's good.
Outstanding entry pass there. He knew exactly where to go with the ball.
Indiana's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. And though he's been working on his offensive skills, defense and rebounding are Valanciunas' bread and butter. That was the case with him when he was playing in Lithuania Club, and it's the case now.
It still sure is the case. I mean, it's hard to find a guy with his combination of size, athleticism, and fluidity. Just a tad over-aggressive at times, but I'd rather have to turn a guy down than to turn him up.
Ellis against Lowry. Inside. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's on Al Jefferson.
And watching Valanciunas rebound, it's clear he has all the tools. Great anticipation, really looks to box out. Strong vertical, might just need to add some strength to become a perennial 10-rebound-a-game guy.
And for Valanciunas, he's been working on his defensive consistency. Last year, he actually increased his blocks per game while lowering his fouls per game. That's a big step forward in his development.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Scola. Johnson comes in for DeMar Carroll. Terrence Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. And the shot is good from Stuckey. And so here's Toronto. 4-point game. Joseph with the ball. Looking for his first basket still in this one. He dishes it to Valanciunas. And Jefferson sends it back. There's a minute 47 left in the first half of basketball. Passes it to Young. Over to the left wing. Miles, that's for two. Kept alive by Indiana. And Jefferson, here we go.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
Young inside. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Only went Clark 15 and 26 on the year, and it cost them down the stretch.
It really did, Kevin. I mean, the Pacers had a bumpy year with all of the injuries, particularly with George being out for most of the year. His absence was most noted in those tough road games, I think.
Biyombo is checked in for the Raptors.
And for the Pacers, perhaps the biggest loss of the season for them was on the road. Couldn't get it done in Memphis on the final day of the season to try and get into the postseason.
Rodney Stuckey on the wing. He's guarded by Ross. Stuckey kicks to Young. Screen by Jefferson. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Allen. And the Pacers can't get it to go. Raptors trail by 8. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
No good from Ross. Here's Indiana. They're on a 14-5 run. And Young, here we go. Here's Allen. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits. Allen's got his first bucket of the night. Here's Joseph. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. And he gets it to go.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg. And when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
That'll do it for the first half. Pacers lead by 7. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Casey, obviously it's early in the season, but how would you say this team is shaping up in terms of its chemistry and personnel-wise?
I love our guys. We have a great group of young men that are competing hard, and it feels good because I know our guys are totally engaged and focused and giving us what they have.
Coach, thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. For the Pacers, the first quarter was pretty even. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. In the second quarter, we began to see what they're capable of when everything starts clicking, as they pulled out to a 7-point lead by the end of the half. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Pacers?
Well, they've been playing with some toughness, and it's led to a nice lead for them, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding numbers. And now they need to stay mean, Ernie. You cannot lose that edge in the second half.
Looking at Toronto, Kenny, your thoughts?
Well, sometimes you get too comfortable playing at home. This team played tonight
like it's no urgency. And now they dug themselves a hole, and the energy level to get out of it is going to be extraordinary. We'll see if they come out of the tunnel with some fire in the second half, because they're going to need it.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
The second half just about to get going here. You gotta like what DeMar DeRozan has done in this game.
I know we've said this many times before, but what a great first half. Just an offensive juggernaut.
And, you know, in the end, I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about what a great second half he had, guys. I mean, he can usually keep it going for all four quarters.
On the court for Indiana, Hill is out there with Ellis. Then there's Al Jefferson. Then there's Allen. And it's George in at the 3 spot. Hill dishes to Jefferson. Tries from 10. Rebounded by Valanciunas. Valanciunas has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Well, guys, no secret that Al Jefferson has never been known for his defense. Clark, mostly viewed as an offensive player.
Yeah, he really is strong down in the low post. But last season, Jefferson went out of his way to change that no defense perception of it.
Deep 2 from Hill. No luck. Now Toronto takes it the other way. Out to DeRozan. Great touch on the 16-footer. DeRozan's got 11 points.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist number. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Hill passes to George. It's back to Hill. Lets it go from 11. Goes back up. Jefferson, that's good. Jefferson's got his second basket of the game.
In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do. And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto. And Stuckey led the charge for the Pacers bench, Greg, as you were talking about. But all around, the reserves, Clark, were fantastic on the Pacers.
Yes, third in the league at almost 41 points per game off the bench. First in the NBA in bench rebounding. And top 10 in field goal percentage as a bench.
Others check in for Al Jefferson. 90 seconds now into the second half. Lowry against Ellis. Right side Lowry. Here's Valanciunas. And Turner with the block. Lowry against Hill. He feeds it to Ellis. No good on the 3.
This is turning into a slow start here in the second half. Seems like they left that offense in the locker room.
Scola with a clean look. Hits the front of the rim and out.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Outside, George from the arc. Rebound by the Raptors. Carroll with it. He's picked up by Hill. Lowry kicks to Scola. To the paint. Here's DeRozan. Soft touch off the glass. DeRozan's got 13.
Some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
And exactly what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. Just more of the same.
Hill kicks to George. Good. The assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 3 assists now in this one.
You know what? That was good defensive effort. But on a shooter like him, sometimes it just isn't enough.
Screen by Scola. Outside DeRozan. 3-pointer. Another miss by DeRozan.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Kicks it to George. Fires from deep. And Indiana, another 3. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Scola, a screen on Hill. Here's DeRozan. He got right to the cup using that screen. DeRozan's got 6 in the quarter.
Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
Hill dishes to Ellis. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. And the Pacers lead by 9.
If you're waiting for him to miss when he's that open, you're going to be in for a long wait.
Tell you what, Monte Ellis is one of the best second-round draft picks of all time in the league, not just the last decade. I mean, this guy was a 5-star recruit out of high school, committed to college, but changed his mind and entered the draft, where the Warriors stole him with the 40th pick in 2005.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Pacers.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
They've worked hard tonight at crashing the boards as well. They've had a bunch of second-chance points.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto, Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Scola. Johnson comes in for DeMar Carroll. Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. Getting back to Monte Ellis. Had he gone to college for even 1 year, I think he would have probably been a top 10 pick. But you look at what he's brought to the table over his career, points and assists, rebounds, steals, playmaking. His production has been astounding.
You know, he's one of those unsung players. He never gets voted to the All-Star game. It never gets spoken about as one of the top guards in this league. But you look at the body of work and you ask his competitors throughout this league, and they're going to tell you that guy's as tough as they get. And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And, guys, you know that rebounding is a huge part, a huge component of winning games. It's not a glamour stat, but it's necessary if you're going to be a winning team.
Joseph, the pass to Johnson. And Valanciunas kicks to Ross. There's the feed to Johnson. Pacers with the rebound. Miles has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
I like the move to go 2 for 1 here.
So do I, Greg. I mean, I agree with you. They need to get a quick look and then try to get another possession after that. Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's keyed this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Stuckey kicks to Miles. Feeds to Young. Just 4 to shoot. The shot is off. Johnson outside. Stolen by Miles. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Indiana out in front, up by 12. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Pacers leading by 12. Lowry and DeRozan are the guard tandem. Bismack Biyombo is out there with Scola. And it's Carroll in at the 3, the small forward. That's the 5 out there for the Raptors. There's the screen. It's taken away by Stuckey. The 3. Good work defensively by Lowry. Toronto shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Here's Carroll, and Jefferson sends it back. DeRozan, a good look, goes up again, and it's good. Fought through contact, it's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
The Pacers making a switch here. Ellis is checked in.
And for Louis Scola, a very different role for him over the last 2 years. I mean, he was a starter for most of his career, then signed with Indiana, who had David West at the 4. Off the bench, though, Scola still played efficiently, but he was just used to putting up much bigger numbers for other teams.
Greg, you were talking about Scola. He has the physical skills, Clark, to make a difference.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he's not spectacular in anything, but he's really solid in just about everything. A pro's pro, and he adds value, tremendous value to any team he's on.
Off the screen, and that one goes long. Indiana leading by 13. And here's Miles outside. DeMar DeRozan grabs the board. DeRozan's got 4 rebounds in this game. Now the dish to Lowry. Lowry drawing the double team. DeRozan with it. He's picked up by Hill. And it's DeRozan missing.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Allen, that's good.
It has been a 3-point barrage for them since halftime.
Not sure if it's been by design or simply by accident, but either way, it has been impressive.
Toronto calls timeout.
You know, I can think of one way to describe George Hill. It's the culmination of several attributes. I mean, he comes from the school of Popovich, plays under control, always in the right place defensively. The way I describe him is just steady.
George is checked in for Indiana. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. An interesting thing about George Hill, he was traded from the Spurs to the Pacers a few years back. Many people were surprised the Spurs would even trade a valuable veteran when they were trying to win a championship. But who did they trade him for? Kawhi Leonard. A pretty good deal.
Well, you know, Hill is really solid. He knocks down open shots, can run the offense or play off the ball equally well. I think he's a terrific combo guard. Gives you a little bit of everything and does it in a professional way. And that's typically what attracts him to other teams.
Lowry against Ellis. Unloads from 13. And Lowry gets us a go.
That's a shot he shouldn't be afraid to take more often.
Pacers leading by 14. Near the three-point line, it's Ellis. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Dishes it to Scola. That's in, coming off an assist from Lowry. 9 points for Luis Scola.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
Allen, that's good.
Oh, and look at how well he led him in there. Really, he passed him open for that dish.
Now here is Lowry. Screen by Scola. Six to shoot. Biyombo down low. Jefferson on him. DeRozan hands it from downtown. DeRozan's got 11 in the second half.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. At the elbow, it's Allen. And off the front iron, and in it goes. Allen's got 7 now in this quarter. Raptors trail by 15. And here's Lowry. Scola, a screen on Ellis. The shot by Lowry, no good.
Good pick, but he just couldn't make it count.
Yeah, nice job of setting the screen by his teammate there, and I'm sure he appreciated it. That's their third straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
Raptors have gone 5 of 11 from the field in the fourth quarter. He kicks to Carroll. Now DeRozan. The 11-footer, and misses it off the right side of the rim. Pacers leading by 17.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Pacers.
The big difference here was accuracy behind the three-point line, Clark.
Well, they started spraying them from deep, and then it spread out the defense. and they had all the looks they wanted.
And as usual, great numbers and a dominant display for Paul George. You look at the energy he brought on both ends of the floor, and it's easy to see why he was a difference maker.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Patterson, he's checked in for Scola. Johnson comes in for Damari Carroll. Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Joseph in for Kyle Lowry. And the Raptors call time here. In the last few years, the Toronto fans have made a strong case for being the loudest in the league. And, Greg, you know, the Air Canada Center can sound like a 60,000 capacity crowd during the playoffs.
It is really unreal. It gives the Raptors a huge advantage here at home. Toronto and Canada will always be hockey first, but they love their Raptors here in the North.
The Pacers making a switch here. Will Bynum, he's checked in for Jefferson. Budinger comes in for Turner. Andrew Bynum's checked in for C.J. Miles. And it's Hill in for Rodney Stuckey. Ross dishes to Joseph. There's the pick. In the corner, it's Patterson. Trains it from beyond the arc.
You know, the Raptors were top 5 in attendance last season as well. I mean, fans had plenty to cheer about as the team finished with 27 home wins on the year.
And there's the foul. It's going to go on Solomon Hill. That's his first foul. Raptors trail by 16. Joseph, the pass to Ross. And Joseph kicks to Johnson. Patterson a screen on Bynum. It's stolen by Hill. There's 42 seconds left to play here in the fourth. To the wing right side. The rebound by Patterson.
And the Raptor franchise record for home wins is 30, set back in 07. And you get the feeling with the way the crowd gets into it, that record won't stand much longer.
And the first one at the line is good. And Joseph drops them both. Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. They're leading by 14. We've got 28 seconds left to play in the final quarter.
Al Johnson, Monte Ellis, Paul George, George Hill.
And so here is Indiana. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead. 23 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Ross. Here's Johnson, and he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
Outside Hill. Beyond the arc. He connects.
And the fans already heading for the exits, clearly not pleased with the way things turned out today.
Well, Greg, this was a well-deserved win. I mean, they came into this building and acted like it was their home turf. I mean, they were the ones calling the shots and controlling everything.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's present our Jordan player of the game, George Hill.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, go into a building on the road and completely control the action like he did, Only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
I think his efficiency from the field was the biggest factor in this win. He made over 60% of his shots. I don't care if you're playing 1-on-1 or 1-on-5. That is a great percentage.
And that's it for our